astonishment. And then he said that we're a proverb and a byword, meaning that we've been called something completely different out of our nationality or who we really are. We're called Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican came from the Spaniards. That's where we got that name Puerto Rican. That's not who we really are. We were never called Rican.
Puerto Rican means?
It means rich port. The Spaniards named Puerto Rico rich port, Puerto Rico. So then obviously we're Puerto Ricans now because we lived through that time. So now we're considered Puerto Ricans, but it's just a rich port. It was given by our slave masters who conquered our people. You feel me? Now we're called.
Yeah, my mom goes to church.
Oh, okay. What church does she go to?
This is, you know, it's on Beacon Street. Behind Beacon Street, like right there. I think it's like
Christian Community Church.
I think it might. It's an English church.
The firehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I used to go there too.
Yeah. It's a good church. I like it. My girlfriend likes it too. She thinks it's good. They're both women. They don't judge. I like it. So.
But you're supposed to judge though.
No, like not like that. Like I mean, like the way, like, cause my girlfriend one time she didn't have, like, she came over to my house and she had the proper like clothes to go to church. You know, so she wanted to go to church, but she didn't have the proper clothes. Like, you put on a sweater, they're not gonna judge you for, you know, dressing like that.
That's cool.
She went to church, they didn't judge her for dressing, you know.
What would you call proper dress in the church?
Well, I mean, at least don't show a lot of skin. You feel me?
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
I agree with that.
It's like, yeah, the shirt she had, it was kind of like showing her stomach and stuff. I was like, you can't wear that at the church. Just throw on a sweater. They're not gonna like judge you.
Yeah, and most churches do judge when you come looking, you know, if you're not wearing a suit or a button up or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Most churches would judge and stuff like that. You know, we're according to the Bible, we're supposed to judge righteously. You know what I mean? If you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, then as people who are following the law, statutes, we can judge. You know what I'm saying? And so that's nice that they do that, and it welcomes them. At least they get to learn a little bit of the word. And then, so what we're doing out here, we're walking around and we're just trying to show people, especially the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that we are the real people of this Bible, and that because of that, we have a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? We have a responsibility to follow God's law, statutes, and commandments, and live according to what He says to live this way. And it's not even that difficult to do. You know what I mean? Living according to the law is like, you know, men are not supposed to shave their beard. You know, this is a badge of manly honor according to the Bible. You feel me? So keeping your beard like this is showing that you're a man. You know what I'm saying? An honorable man. You feel me? Shaving your head, you know, we're not supposed to go bald. You know what I mean? We're supposed to keep the fringes like this. When you look on this, you know, according to the Bible, it says that when I look down on my fringes, it reminds me to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You feel me? To live righteously as possible. You feel me?
You know
So
what today is according to the Bible, Mark?
So
today's the Sabbath day. Have you heard of that?
yeah. So the Sabbath is a day. I know. I just wanted to kind of give them a little background real quick before he brings it out. So the Sabbath is the day that the Lord appointed for His people. So this is the day that we're supposed to be in worship. You know, we're supposed to be reading the Bible, fellowshipping with brothers and everything. And that has been changed by Catholicism. You know, the Catholics, they changed it from Saturday to Sunday, which is kind of mixing paganism, because the Greeks during that time frame, they used to worship the sun, you know, the sun god, Zeus, and it was always on a Sunday. So what they did was they mixed Christianity in with this Bible and they created Christianity.
Yeah.
So that's why nowadays we're worshiping, you know, Yahweh Shai, we're worshiping God on a Sunday when it's supposed to be Saturday, keeping the Sabbath. You know, we're not supposed to cook, we're not supposed to buy food, we're not supposed to do anything, any type of work. We're supposed to just be for the Lord. Exactly what you do on a Sunday, but you're supposed to do it on Saturday, without the eating after church and going and, you know what I'm saying, and going buying food and shopping and stuff like that. So he's just gonna bring it out to show you that.
With the Ten Commandments, right?
Yeah.
So you probably heard this before. This says, this is Exodus chapter 20, starting verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So with the Sabbath day, which is the 7th day of the week, which is today, Saturday, we're supposed to keep it holy. Holy means to set apart. It's supposed to be a set apart day, like a special day.
Yeah. And what's happened is that it's been changed to Sunday. You know, and it's, again, you're worshiping without even knowing it. A lot of us, I did it myself. Without knowing it, we're worshiping Zeus. You know what I'm saying? We're worshiping Greek, Roman gods. You know, without even knowing it. We're calling on Jesus, but He's not hearing us, because it's like, yo, that's not my day of worship. You feel me? Saturday, you're supposed to be doing that, you know? So we're just out here edifying our people and letting them know that they're the Israelites according to the Bible. And if you have some time, we would like to break that down for you if you mind. Yeah, so go to Deuteronomy 28. Now, God cursed the Israelites for a reason, because we broke his laws, you feel me? And when you read the curses in the Bible in Deuteronomy 28, when we're reading this to you, I want you to think about who it relates to nowadays. Because if you believe in the Bible, right, all these people that go to church, they believe in this 100%. And there's people in this Bible, right? There's 18 nations. So who are we now? You know, who are we? If the earth was killed by Noah, you know, by the flood, and Noah and his family repopulated the earth, then who the heck are we? You know? So we want to show you who we are according to the Bible.
All right, Deuteronomy chapter 28, let's start at verse 46. It says, and they shall be, verse 45, Deuteronomy 28, 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So because we didn't listen to the Lord thy God, he put these curses on us. So go ahead to go to the one with the Proverbs. Oh, okay.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he command thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for wonder upon thy seed forever.
So how long is forever? Eternity, right? So these, right now what we're going to read, these curses, they're going to be on a certain people, right? The Israelites, forever, to show as a sign of who they are. You know what I mean? You're not going to learn this in church. This is some real stuff right here. Yeah. So go ahead, start pulling out the Proverbs and astonishment verse that shows, you know, how we're cursed today.
Let me try 28, Deuteronomy
okay.
28, 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. You want 37 then?
Yeah.
Thou shalt, Deuteronomy 28, 37. Thou shalt become an astonishment,
yep,
a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead.
Now think about this. We became an astonishment, right? We're supposed to be the Israelites. According to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, he says that if we follow his laws, we will be the greatest people on earth. Well, we're in astonishment because our people are at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? The so-called blacks, Hispanics are nothing right now as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? So we're in astonishment. And then he said that we're a proverb and a byword, meaning that we've been called something completely different out of our nationality or who we really are. We're called Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican came from the Spaniards. That's where we got that name Puerto Rican. That's not who we really are. We were never called Rican.
You know what Puerto Rican means?
It means rich port. The Spaniards named Puerto Rico rich port, Puerto Rico. So then obviously we're Puerto Ricans now because we lived through that time. So now we're considered Puerto Ricans, but it's just a rich port. It was given by our slave masters who conquered our people. You feel me? Now we're called African American. African American again was given to us by the people who conquered our people. You feel me? African American is actually two names of two white people, two white men actually. You know the names of them?
Yes, Leo Scipio Africans and Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo Vespucci, he mapped this area of the world for Rome. So they named land after him America.
Yeah.
So they call us two words, which is a byword.
Yep.
We're called African American, named after the two European men, as the brother said.
Yep.
You're also called a Puerto Rican, which is a byword, like he said, it came from the Spaniards. It means rich port. But really, you are from the stock of Ephraim, from the clan of Tahan, which is Taino, which is in the book of Numbers 26:35. Did you know Taino was in the Bible? Okay, well, he's going to bring it out for you.
Numbers 26.
It's 26:35, I believe, right?
Numbers 26:35. These are the sons of Ephraim, after their families, of Shula, the family of the Shuthalites, of Belcher, the family of the Bacharites, of Tahan, the family of the Tahanites.
The Tahanites is the Tainos. Taino is the Latin word for Tahanite, okay? And that's your true name. That's who you are in the Bible, the Tahanites of the stock of Ephraim. The church ain't going to tell you that. Because once you discover who you are, that's when we wake up and we start going back to these law, statutes, and commandments. That's when we start obeying the Most High God. We start researching more. But right now, the church is a $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
And they make money off of you coming in there. They make money off of you putting money in the collection plate. They make money off of you just coming in, passing around that stuff 300 and 400 times, you know? And the churches is a $1 billion business.
And
Let's
they make
finish.
a profit off your ignorance.
let's finish the verse for Proverbs, like I said, bywords. All right, and then on Mexican. Anything that's nowadays what we call ourselves is all from our slave masters that conquered our people. You feel me? Now I want to go because there's in the Bible it shows how our people got to this part of the world, and that's another important part to understand because then you can really associate yourself with who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you have your Bible has the Apocrypha, but I would like to go to Esdras where it talks about the 10 tribes coming to this part of the world to show the brother that when Christopher Columbus came to this part of the world, supposedly discovering this, you know what I'm saying, we were already here. We already had establishments and everything. You know what I'm saying? And Second Esdras is going to show us. Second Esdras, all right. Is that it? 10 tribes. I got it marked here for 10 tribes. There it is, right there.
Second Esdras 13. Verses 40.
Yep. Hold on, Salaki. The part of the Bible that I'm about to read out of is called the Apocrypha. And you won't see this in the newer Bibles. These are 14 books that the Protestant church took out of the Bible. And for reasons like this, where you're going to learn how we got to this part of the land. Because if they were to show you who you really are as a people, everybody will rise up, man, will take back our land. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to read from there. Second Esdras.
Book of Second Esdras 13, starting at verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Now you got to remember, it says another land. When this part of the Bible, you know where they usually were, right? In like Africa, Jerusalem, you know, all those parts of the land, right? All that land was already conquered. You feel me? So all that land was already known. Africa, Asia Minor, all that was already known. So when he says we're going to a new land, it can't be anywhere in that area because it's already been known and conquered. You know what I'm saying?
Verse 41. But they took this counsel amongst themselves.
So the Israelites, they came together and they started talking.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
So that's what I'm saying, where they were living currently in that time, everything was populated. So they came together and they're like, yo, let's go somewhere further where no man ever lived. Okay?
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So we were disobeying the Lord. That's why we were in captivity.
And they entered into the Euphrates, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Now in that time frame, they would call the flood, the ocean would be considered the flood. You know what I'm saying? So he held it still for them.
Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So it took a year and a half, even with the waters calm and still, to get to the new part of the world where no man ever lived. You know what I'm saying?
And the same region is called Azareth.
And the same region is called Azareth. All right. Now, if one of my brothers will pull out the Jewish encyclopedia.
Hold up, it wasn't finished there.
Oh, okay.
Verse 46. Then dwelt they there until the later time, and now when they shall begin to come.
All right, that's it. Azareth. That's an important word to understand. If you have your phone, anybody got a phone?
He's got it with him.
Oh, you got the Bible? You got that? You got the Oh, perfect. Yeah, pull it out then.
Yeah. So secular history also saw another witness that your people are the chosen people of the house of Israel. So
what I wanted to show was that.
Oh, yes.
What I wanted to show was the Jewish encyclopedia.
Yeah, we're gonna leave in a minute.
We're gonna leave in a minute. Yeah. So the Jewish encyclopedia was written by the so-called philosophers who are so-called white men right now, right? They understand what Azareth means. According to them, if you were to look it up later, you know, Azareth, it was the land where the 10 tribes would go to, right? That was Christopher Columbus identified the land as Azareth or as America. You know what I'm saying? He read Second Esdras, this book, and that's how he had the idea to come to this part of the world, because he knew there was people here. Our 10 tribes, Ephraim, which was, we were, you know, the so-called Puerto Ricans, you know, we were in charge of that. That was our people, you know what I'm saying? We were out on this land, so he decided to come for that reason. Were you able to pull it up? I had it on my old phone saved, so you could just touch it and it'll come up. Just want to show you that, because once you know who you are, and when you're going to church, you start realizing like, yo, I gotta uphold something. You know what I'm saying? I gotta uphold these laws, statutes, and commandments, because I'll be blessed by the Most High. Just a few more minutes, man. Thank you for being, listening, man. I appreciate it.
Well, let me show the next from the book. This is Lost Tribes in the Promised Land, written by Ronald Sanders. So this is history of the indigenous people of the Americas. They're not going to teach you this in school or church.
Yep.
It's a definitely powerful book, and it's recommended book. This is page 364, says Montezino's story, unclear as to the circumstances of his incarceration, is equally unclear as to those of his release. But released he was, and he immediately went to Francisco, revealing himself as a Jew. Montezino proclaimed his conviction that Francisco's hidden people were of the same race as he.
So Francisco is the priest, right?
Yes.
So there was a priest that came with Christopher Columbus to this part of the world, and he started documenting everything that he saw in this part of the world. So the people that approached Francisco said, yo, I'm a Jew. You know what I'm saying? The people that were here on this part of the world, he told Francisco that I'm a Jew. Go ahead.
All right, 2 men were soon back in the rugged mountains in which Francisco had made his initial revelation, marching relentlessly for a week before they finally came to a halt. It was a Saturday. Montesinos makes a point of telling us, and they had come to a river larger than the Guerrero, or the echoes of the San Battalion, Salaka, in all of this. Here Francisco announced is where your brothers will be seen. Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river. In response to his signal, 2 men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge. All right, check this out, here's the key point. The women got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they arose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, which is quoted about Deuteronomy 6:4, which says, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited the Hebrew and fundamental credo of Judaism.
So when he came and he was on this part of the river, a woman approached him and started speaking in Hebrew, which is our native tongue. You know what I'm saying? Our people, all the Israelites of the Bible, and the Jews, the Jewish, who call themselves Jewish, go to Revelation and show them who they really are, bro. They're trying to take our identity. We are the true Jews.
There's numerous Hebrew artifacts found in the Americas too.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you about, like the Los Lunas Decalogue stone. That's the 10 Commandments in Paleo Hebrew, which is
that was found in New Mexico, yeah.
And that's the Thackeray stone, which is written in Hebrew too. So that was your original language before you took on your oppressor's language, learning Spanish.
Yeah. Do you believe that the government could lie to you?
Yeah.
Trust. They've lied about this whole entire thing, and it's so hard to get our people to even listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so programmed, man, to think what they've been learning in church. I grew up in church since I was 9 years old, so I you know what I'm saying, I learned the same stuff. And then when I started reading this, I'm like, yo, all this shit makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts making a lot of sense. So
right, the churches follow the Bible. They'll be having services today on Saturdays and on Sundays.
Right. Yeah.
There's nowhere mentioning the Bible that we should be worshiping. That's disobedience and disrespect to the Most High God already. Not have you guys keep the Sabbath or teaching you how to.
Show them Deuteronomy.
The fake Jews verse.
Oh yeah. Pull that out real quick. Yeah, pull that out.
All right, this is real quick. Revelation 2:9 says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
He's talking about us right now. We work hard and we're poor. You know what I'm saying?
But thou art rich.
But we're rich because we have salvation and we get in the kingdom.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews,
Yep.
and are not,
And are not, but are what?
but are the synagogue of Satan.
Are Satan. The so-called white man has programmed this world to think that Yahweh Shai, the Savior, is white. That white rules. You feel me? And when you read through the Bible, the Israelites are the chosen people of the Most High. And when we read Revelations 14:1, it shows that Jesus, who they call Jesus, was a so-called black man, was an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? We derive from that color. You feel me? The thing with the Puerto Ricans is that we've been mixed with the Spaniards and shit. You know what I'm saying? When they conquered our people, so we come in all different colors. You go to Rico, you see a whole bunch of black Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? White Puerto Ricans, black Puerto Ricans, same thing as, you know, the so-called blacks too.
Yeah, go to
You know what I
Hosea
mean?
7:8.
Yeah. Everything's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Bring out in the Bible. Hosea chapter 7, verse 8.
We'll bring a few
Ephraim.
more. Yo, appreciate it. Thank
So
you.
remember, that's your tribe, Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Have you ever cooked a cake in the oven, or you seen somebody cook a cake in the oven and they don't go back and turn it for 20 minutes? Okay, so if you cook that cake, one side of that cake could be darker than the other side of the cake, you know, and the other side that's facing the door will probably be lighter than the other side because you forgot to turn it. Okay, so if you go to Puerto Rico, y'all all vary in hue. Like some of you might be so dark, say you go to Louisa
Yeah.
or Bayamon or something like that. And
Black
then
as
y'all
hell.
Go, descent to what's the I can't even remember the capital. San Juan.
San Juan, yeah.
Some of them will get lighter.
They're all
You know what I
white,
mean?
yeah.
That's the cake unturned. Some of y'all is really, really light skinned, and some of y'all is really, really dark skinned. Y'all the cake unturned. Y'all have a different variation in hue. That makes y'all not just y'all though, the nation of Ephraim. If you go through all the Hispanic tribes, you all vary in different hues. Some of y'all is really, really dark, and some of y'all is really, really light skinned. You know, so that's what makes y'all the cake unturned. You know. And
So-
you gotta go back and you gotta research who you are, because these churches have been lying to us for years. They haven't been letting us know who we truly are. If you knew that you was God's chosen people, you wouldn't go out there and kill each other like you see people kill each other. You wouldn't go out there, you wouldn't sell drugs to your people, because that's what's killing us in the community. You wouldn't be worried about that stuff like that. You wouldn't be worried about none of this worldly desires or anything like that. If you knew that your sisters was the most blessed sisters in the community, you wouldn't be trying to turn them into jump offs. You wouldn't be trying to turn them into whores, you know? And that's what we need to wake up and come out of. Because the Most High ain't gonna hear us as long as we sin in our state of sin. Excuse me for a minute. You got the right music bumping there.
Yeah. That's what we're living in right now, is Babylon. That means so that's ill. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. You got the flyer, man. We live right down the street here in the corner down that way.
Right, and
If you
on here, we got a Facebook page, The Rise of the Chosen, The Truth Beyond the Surface Temple.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn more, you can go to YouTube at the Ihaksi IO's channel. We got tutorial videos, and you can get your Bible and walk through with us, you know. And if you got any questions, find me on Facebook, and I'm willing to answer any questions. And any of the brothers is here to answer any question that you got, because the church has been lying to us, man. It's time for us to wake up, man.
Let's just, I want to leave with one more thing before you go, man, because you guys are very important to us. Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick. One more thing, please.
Oh yeah, let Ezekiel read it.
Yeah. Because if we come back to the Most High the correct way, yo, this is what's going to happen to our people, man. We won't be down on the bottom like this no more.
Read it loud.
For thou art an holy people.
You guys are a holy
unto
people.
The Lord thy God.
That's
the
right.
Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He
to
chose
be
us.
a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That's
Of
right.
all the people upon the face of the earth, homie. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach us that, though. They teach us we hood motherfuckers, like, you know? We just hood people. Nah. If we come back to this word properly, we'll be the greatest people on earth, and that's what they don't want you to learn. That's why they come up with all this. They take out books from the Bible, come up with all this confusion, create this whole Christianity thing, man. Because if we were to come back to right, they even change our names.
You
Yeah.
a rich port? That's what Puerto Rican mean. You a rich port?
Or Hispanic
Nah.
property of Spain, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hispanic is a property of Spain, and then African American, you can't even go back to no land called African
African
American.
America or black?
Can you go back to black? You can't catch a plane and go back to black. But yo, appreciate it, man. What was your name? Carlos D, man. Abiyah. I'll be out.
around, like I said, if you want to learn, willing to learn, willing to teach.
I'm the big blessed to meet you. All right, Carlos. Man.
Take care, man.
Put us in the hood.
All right, any words?
Hey, that was a blessing to build Foster Brothers. I was had the eyes to see and the ears to hear this word, and we hopefully that these seeds and gems we dropped on them will.
I thought it was better to talk to the youth than it was to talk to the older people, to be personally, because they're willing to listen and they're looking for leadership. They really, really are. And the leadership that they're getting is confusion on the television and from brainwash entertainment, TV. And it's time for us to go out and approach them, you know. It's our responsibility, and we out here in the highways and the hedges, and we compelling our people to come in the chief place of conquest like we're supposed to. All praise to the Most High for using us to do this work.